I feel like we're really struggling to keep everything above water. I think we're gonna have to make some changes. We're gonna have to take some risks here, and I think I'm gonna change my administration. I like this, 250,000 for your rating gains after events are reduced by a third. I think we gotta stop bleeding approval ratings, so I'm gonna remove Clint. And Sasha, because 25,000 for 0.3 is not very good. Clint in another position. Rating gains after events are increased by a third. Sasha. Team member action increased stress points by 1. No thanks. Increased by a third again. Okay, so I think we're gonna stick with this because we can. And the one thing I was concerned about is Troy and Clint. They are at each other's throats, but in order to get them counseling, it costs 3.38 million. I just don't have that kind of cash. I think I'm gonna hire on someone new though. We've got this title of Baron, which I think I'm gonna sell. Mr. President, I know several influential businessmen who would very much enjoy a title. Are you sure you want to sell it? Yes. Mr. President, a major textile merchant paid a tidy sum for the title granted by Anne IV. My percentage was negligible, I assure you. Okay, so we got some cash, and I'm gonna hire on someone. I think we hire on the thief, because we already have lawyers. 4 million, okay. Mister, I promise you that if you use my services, nobody is ever going to know about me or the fact that you hired me. Can you put your trust in me? Happy to work with you, mister. I can gain access to anywhere and find out anything you need to know. Okay. I'm not gonna do any of these, I think. I can't do these because these require muscle. I just don't have the approval rating. We're just gonna move forward, I think. I guess I could do... Mr. President, California Congressman Larry Hunter has become a political ally of Oyster, criticizing the amendment. You and everyone who likes you. Last week, his people were offering $100 to anyone who would give on camera in 10 seconds at least 3 reasons why you are a bad president. People managed to name more. You can imagine how much that campaign cost Larry, and he didn't have a penny to his name. Whatever he earned, he immediately spent on casinos and entertainment. Where does he get the money from his girlfriend, Jackie Sassoon? Ah, the owner of a chain of luxury beauty salons in New York and Vegas. Jackie has fallen in love like a girl and doesn't see eye to eye that he's using her for a senator's chair in a couple of years. As long as Larry has money, he will annoy you. So it's a good idea to strip him of his funding. I propose that we show Jackie Sassoon the true face of her lover. Let her expose him for treason. Word on the sidelines is Larry could never resist a beautiful woman. Do you have a seductress in mind that will make him forget about caution? Maybe Holly? I don't know. It says persuasion. Should we try? First job on the first assignment, Holly. I should also check to see if she's good at anything in the administration. Gain 5.4% ratings at the end of every month? Holy shit. Yes. That's huge. Wait, what? Your rating gains after events are increased by a third. That's actually massive. Okay. Oh, and also... Is there any jobs I could do? Rating gains after events are reduced by a third now. Like some of these give you jobs, right? Okay, we're going with this. That's actually massive. I guess we could put Clint back to get another 250,000. But let's actually just build up some approval ratings so we can do some of these other things. And we can get Sasha and Amira back, hopefully. Regulate robotics. Let's take a look at this. Barbara Goosens, executive director of Juul Car. Mr. President, I spent half of my life trying to make our country and the entire world cleaner, safer, and better. But the real problem started after I began to succeed. People are afraid of robots. They blame machines for their own faults. And the bigger progress we make, the more insane and medieval. I think we've read this before, right? Ready to help the best of my ability, but I am going to need someone inherently familiar with lawmaking, and we won't make progress without an expert who understands the principles of AI programming. I'd like someone responsible for the ethical side of the issue, too. I realize I could be partial to my favorite creation and deaf to the concerns of the regular folk. Do you by any chance have a robot fan on your team? I promise this project will make history. Well, we have AI programming. Probably. He could do that. Ethical side, Clint. Maybe. A robot fan. Maybe Troy is a robot fan? Let's try. We gotta take risks here. There's nothing I could do about these. So much money. We lost 3.5%. Sir, it's a great shame that you couldn't stop the fallout caused by the Secretary of State's mistake, sorry. I'm referring to the incident when he snapped a pencil made from the sacred Bodhi tree right in front of our Indian colleagues. And no, I'm no snitch. I just lay down the facts. The international press is increasingly reporting on our inept international policy and diplomatic clowns from the United States. But the local press is blaming you for everything. Oh, -6! Mr. President, Aaron perished in prison. It is regrettable the authorities could not do anything to rescue an honest journalist from an unfair and cruel demise. This is what we all think. Holy crap. Julian Giard says, Sir, Busan Maju found a buyer for the shipments of crude oil and gasoline he is pumping out of the captured territories, even without our help. I told you he is a very resourceful young man. Well, this is going to start going up, hopefully. Money's going down big time. Stress going up. June 2023. We got 3 mil. Exposing the Alphanist. Hopefully we get something from this. Mr. President, frankly, I feel a little sorry for Larry Hunter as a man. Even I couldn't resist the beautiful woman you sent him. And I haven't cheated on my wife in 10 years. Anyway, Larry couldn't resist hitting on her, and what's more, he didn't pull the cat by the tail and let both hands and tongue loose on the first date. Larry couldn't... And what's more, he didn't pull the cat by the tail and let both hands and tongue loose on the first date. That's a lot to parse there. Of course, our secret cameraman caught the whole thing close up, and the video went straight to Jackie Sassoon's post. Jackie's neighbors caught the aftermath on camera in a fit of emotion. She picked up a golf club and thoroughly disrupted the aerodynamics of the sporty Juul she had given Larry for his anniversary. Looks like if they do get back together, it won't be for much longer. Did I get anything for that? Oh, regular robotics. Mr. President, your people worked as a cohesive whole. I watched them and thought, no AI will ever surpass teamwork. Your specialists were not particularly enthusiastic and cared little about ethics in robotics, but they are immaculate professionals. The resulting legislation may not be particularly progressive, but it does enshrine certain standards in the legislation and will lay people's concerns to rest. Harmony between robots and humans. Oh, this is good. If I could get to this. Postpone for now. What fate awaits the 28th Amendment? The finest pundits in the nation have predicted an endless variety of outcomes, from a new golden age of democracy to a zombie apocalypse, says Joanna Rizzuto. I've been thinking about launching a PAC in favor of the 28th Amendment. I need to make sure nobody knows I founded it. Maybe just tweet about it then, Antonio. or it would seem dishonest. What do you say, America? Samantha Dickinson says, I've been in politics for 45 years, and believe me, I've seen a thing or two, but now things are really starting to get interesting. Mr. President, I overheard Troy saying you were a dumb president. Are you going to take insults like that from your subordinates? Maybe you should fire him. No. I guess I'll just keep saying no, I'm not going to fire him. I know it's weird, hun, but I can't stop thinking about that conversation with Angela. I mean, the nerve of that woman. She's going to regret talking to me like that. Here's what I'm thinking. We'll make so much trouble for her, she'll have to step down. But I'll need your help to set everything up. I need your help to check something out. I know what to do about Vasquez, bud. No, I'm not talking about murder. Although I'm actually a little surprised what a dark place I went to there. Closing Gitmo. Discover the justice's problem. Find the justice's flaw. Expose the nut job. Which nut job? There's so many goddamn nut jobs in this world. Which ones are we going to expose? I could sign this in, but what's the point, right? Why not wait until we can maybe get higher ratings on it? There's no time limit on these, as far as I can tell. Okay, closing Gitmo. The head of the CIA wants to talk to you about shutting down Guantanamo Bay. Mr. President, the anti-American media has increasingly been clamoring for you to close our detention facility in Guantanamo Bay. This is Orta Chambers, the CIA director. I know it might seem like shutting down Gitmo would be a good way to score some political points, sir, but I warn you, it would seriously destabilize international affairs. Do we care about that? Probably not, because we only care about approval rating, money, and our goals. Our office has prepared an objective report that accounts for every perspective on the problem, so you can understand that we're not trying to intentionally misdirect you. I gotta read documents, man. CIA Guantanamo Status Report. The Guantanamo Detention Center is located at the U.S. Navy military base on sovereign U.S. territory on lease from Cuba. The center presently holds 40 foreign nationals with exceptional legal status. Guantanamo is a strategically important facility for U.S. national security. Thanks to it, we are prosecuting the war on terror more efficiently, as the citizens of foreign powers held at the center serve as invaluable intelligence sources. By will of Congress, we are forbidden from bringing these people into the United States under any pretext. Therefore, we simply cannot close the base. We have nowhere else to transfer those who are held there. Just DC article on Guantanamo. Would the world end without Guantanamo? For a decade, we've been hearing voices calling for the closure of the U.S. Navy base in Guantanamo. With a new president in office, these calls have only intensified. But whose voices are these? What's behind them? And more importantly, who is paying for the increase in volume? Guantanamo base is located in Cuba, which has been a proxy for superpowers since the middle of the last century. First it was the USSR, then Russia, and more recently China. The regime in Cuba follows one simple rule. Their closest friend is the USA's most powerful enemy. So when we're talking about Cuba, we're talking about one of America's greatest geopolitical rivals. Well, also they're communist, right? So it would be a communist state that they would be closest to. For regular readers of Just DC, it's no secret that Guantanamo's special legal status enables our authorities to wage an effective war on terror. Fortunately, the fanaticism of the United States' sworn enemies requires an unconventional approach to conversation, all in the name of the American security. Our editorial board believes that any and all reports of extra-legal actions in human torture, including waterboarding, have been propagated by unscrupulous journalists. Unfortunately, some of our colleagues aren't beyond currying favor with dictators for their own personal gain. But in the viewpoint of Just DC is not for sale. Oh, but the viewpoint of Just DC, okay. But in the viewpoint of Just DC is not for sale. The base in Guantanamo must remain open. Terror cannot be allowed to stand. Okay. Left for Dead article on Guantanamo. 5 obscure reasons why Guantanamo prison must be closed. Cuban authorities do not recognize the right of the United States to occupy Guantanamo Bay. Is the United States maintaining its military base contrary to international law? The United States maintains approximately 800 military bases outside the country. One more, one less. What difference does it make? Authorities say Guantanamo Bay is home to the most dangerous terrorists. If that's the case, is it wise for the government to keep this right on our doorstep? Just imagine what would happen if these terrorists figured out how to escape. Former President Feist advocated leaving the Guantanamo prison open. If Feist is for it, then it must be wrong. Okay. Interesting reason there. Logic there. Members of the military who are based in Guantanamo must live in isolation, away from their families, for 9 months out of the year. Is the fight against terror truly worth the loneliness of their wives? Lets their children grow up without fathers. What do you say, Mr. President? Do you still intend to close our detention facility in Guantanamo Bay? Well, if it's going to be popular with the people, I think we should do it. Yes, did you really think you could change my mind with this ridiculous report of yours? I need to think about this some more. The problem will have to be solved eventually. Let's try closing it. Not at all, sir. I just wanted to make sure you had all the information you needed to make your decision. If you've already made up your mind, I suppose there's no point in continuing this conversation. The time has come for action. I see. We have to be at 70% approval. Okay. Boss, my parakeet died. We were very close, and I'll be mourning him all month. Don't expect me at work. Oh, Mila's pissed at us, hun. This time she's refused to send us any pictures of Adam until we buy her a car. Who's Mila again? The old one's shocks are shot, and she's driving our son to play dates every day. Let's buy Mila a present. It's so important to her. What do you think? She deserves a $500,000 car? No, we're not going to do that. We need the cash. You're right. She's raising our child for us, but we pay her handsomely for it as it is. Amy Pill, Vice President at Mothers Association of America. A child was almost killed by a poplar pollen in Kansas, Mr. President. She was playing at the park and chased after a ball that rolled under a poplar tree, but she never came back. She had a severe allergic reaction and couldn't breathe. They managed to save the little girl, but how many more children need to suffer from poplar fluff allergies before we finally chop down all the poplar trees in the country? The time is now, Mr. President. Don't you agree? Is that a common allergy? I'm gonna go with no. Yakto Rashid, head of the Natural Resources Defense Council. Mr. President, every year we force businesses to increase the price of fuel to get people to give up their cars, or at least drive a little less. But the owners of a chain of gas stations in California have decided to get sneaky. For every gallon of gas they buy, they're giving drivers a coupon for another free gallon and a half. As a result, gas is getting cheaper rather than more expensive, and people are driving more than ever. Let's remind these shady business people that no one is above the law. Prohibit their gas station's loyalty program, okay? I think if we limit it, that's going to be unpopular. No. Buddy! Did you know South Korean chicks are hot for your bod, buddy? Seriously, I flipped out when someone sent me a link to a fan site dedicated to you. There were tons of pics of you with schoolgirls and hearts photoshopped into them, as well as clips from your speeches with K-pop songs in the background and a buttload of fan art. I know you're real busy, bud, and you've got Ellie and all that, but I wouldn't mind keeping these Korean girls interested in you. How about I respond to their love letters and say I'm you? No? I should just always say no to him, right? I should have learned my lesson by now. Sheila McAllister, Secretary of Energy. The age of thermonuclear power isn't too far off, Mr. President. And when it comes, we're going to need helium-3. And do you know where there's an awful lot of helium-3? On the moon. That's where. If we're the first ones to invest in mining the moon, one day we'll be able to sell the minerals we find there for billions. Will you sign an executive order beginning helium-3 mining operations on the moon? Sure. I don't know. Seems like that would be awfully expensive. Shirley Swanson, Director of the National Bureau of Travel and Tourism. Sir, the Golden Gate Bridge is one of the most famous symbols of our country, and it's a popular tourist attraction. It's also a popular place to commit suicide. At least one person tries to just tries to jump off it every other day. It's scaring away visitors to San Francisco and making it a less desirable tourist destination. I talked to the mayor of SF and asked her to use an AI to help solve the problem. The AI can analyze the footage from video cameras and data about the latest phone calls made by everyone who goes to the bridge, but apparently the mayor cares more about the budget than a reputation. Could we maybe spend some money from the federal budget on this? No! That sounds like a terrible idea. Discover the justice process. So we got 2 months for these. Steal the FBI reports. Expose the nut job. Let's start from the top. Obtain privileged medical information to coerce the justice into compliance. Associate Justice Fuqua may be acting all holier than thou, but she was deep into alcohol back in her college days, so it seemed a little strange that she never even looked at her wine glass during homecoming. Angela is seeing the same therapist as Face did. I want one of your hackers to get into the shrink's computer and look for Fuqua file. Get their session transcripts, drug prescriptions, any mentions of her. There's got to be something at least. I have a feeling we'll find something that will slap that cocky smile off her face. I don't have, This is my hacker dude, and he's mourning. Let's see the flaw. Buddy, Vasquez looks tough, but that many years can't all have been kind. So some of the writing in this, sorry if I pause every once in a while, I'm just like, wait, hold on. But so many years can't all have been kind. I think what they're trying to say is that they're getting older and not all the years could have been kind to them. Some of them must have been rough. I say we find out exactly how much life there is left in the old dog. He jogs every morning starting at 9, right from his house's front porch. We should send one of our guys to check out how good Grandpa actually is and see if there's some way we can get him out of the race. Marathon's coming up soon. Holly, maybe? Spying on people, right? Oh, man. Yakto, Rashid, Natural Resource Defense Council. We just got a petition from some California ecologists, Mr. President. They're upset at how much the loyalty programs have increased gas sales in their state. Here's one of their comments from Just DC. People are choking on foul-smelling car exhausts, while the gas station owners are raking in the profits. This is especially frustrating because we never saw a dime. We never saw a dime one from those coupons. Hey, Ray Bradbury would be proud of us, Mr. President. We don't just drink beer whenever commercials tell us to. We're also mining the moon, and we've already started making money off of it. Sure, we don't have many orders for helium-3 yet, but not every country can afford an investment like that. But the ones that can have already completely covered the cost of launching the spaceship. It's all uphill from here. Excellent. Well, if we're going to steal the FBI reports, we're going to need Holly. Help me get rid of the nonsense being broadcast on the American radio waves. Abith Wayne, chairman of the Internal Policy Council. Mr. President, the Fallen America podcast airs on Saturdays. Its host, Selman Stern, is a former senator from Delaware, who even ran for vice president in the late 90s, but suddenly went off the political grid and seemingly a little crazy. Stern is convinced that the country is a plutocracy. Uncle Sam is big brother, and you are his right-hand man. On the last podcast, he claimed that it was on your orders that Face was taken out. Supposedly, the former president wanted to uncover a scheme for total control of the minds of Americans. Absolute nonsense. Trouble is, Stern is a consummate orator. His energy literally enslaves an ever-increasing number of listeners, and the senator's past contributes to that. His next podcast, Parsing the Hidden Messages in 1984, is going to be listened to by 2 million people. As we speak, he's inviting experts. Maybe you can find someone who could pass for an expert and make a strong enough argument against Stern's insane theories. Ben? Troy? Find someone who can pass for an expert and argue. Persuasion. Maybe Clint? Seems, you see, presentable. Sure. Can I also send them? I forget how this works. I guess I can't send him on vacation to you. Maybe I should send Troy on vacation though. And we might need Ben fresh also. Okay. I don't know how this is gonna work out. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't send him on vacation because he's in. Okay. Can I remove him from the administration? Maybe then he won't get the stress, huh? Yeah. Okay. Just want to see if there's someone else that could be a fun keeper. I guess that's good. Okay. We're getting low on cash though, guys. Our approval rating's going up. Money's balancing out. Okay, no one's totally stressed. We're into July of 2023. I just don't know how long we can keep this up for. Boss, that was one hell of a trip. Locals kept begging to interview me, but I turned everyone down. For a big shot like me, talking to commoners feels like stupid and pretty low. Good to be back with you. I'm ready to get to work. Thanks, Ben. Buddy, it turned out Vasquez is in great shape. Holly could barely keep up. Grandpa ran 5 miles, then went for a nice swim in the pool. Holly found a bottle of soda lol in Vasquez's locker. That's an arrhythmia drug, so Grandpa does have a weak spot. I need to think about how we could use this to our advantage. We're gonna kill him, aren't we? Oh, this is good. Plus 0.8%. Mr. President, I'm still reeling from the way our expert assassin did Stern. To make a scholarly parsing comparing oligarchical collectivism and federated presidential republic, just to show how far removed the world order of 1984 is from modern America is something. Stern tried to argue and quote, but eventually snapped, got hysterical, and started screaming that you and the Freemasons were gonna have a doomsday in America at that point. I watched his followers dwindle. I don't think poor Stern is going to regain his audience trust anytime soon. Going up. Going down. There's been an awful tragedy, sir. A famous surfer named Francois Rodriguez jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. He could no longer surf after an injury last year and was traveling the United States. A couple of hours before he died, he wrote to his wife and told her that jumping off the bridge would probably hurt less than his fall from grace as an athlete. Since the incident, the public has started demanding we finally do something to prevent suicide. At least install a taller fence on the bridge or something. Sure, that's fine. You wanted me to like start this massive surveillance system, tapping into people's phones and stuff? Putting a fence seems like a good idea. Fuck, it's not all or nothing. The true face of power has been revealed to me, and oh, what an ugly, hateful face it is. I don't even know if there's anything left to believe in. What is good and what is evil? What is law and who does it protect? Maybe Judge Shred from Roachman was right, and dying in a nuclear inferno really is the best option. But I'm too tired to even care anymore. I just want to be reassured that I'm working for a man with a strong moral compass, or I'll have to leave. What'd I do? Scientists in Saudi Arabia recently tested a new technology that uses drones and electricity to cause a rainstorm and prevent drought. Will our own government's actions be just as progressive? That's cool. Yeah, okay. Kim Smith, who went missing 4 years ago, was recently found in an abandoned warehouse in rural Wyoming. Bo Tucker, the man who allegedly kidnapped Smith, was quickly arrested, but strangely, he was later released with no explanation. It's time for the White House to look into this. Archivista, is there even one decent media outlet in this country willing to tell the truth about that criminal pretending to be the president? He's a usurper. Wake up, people.